Hello everyone, welcome to the daily Facebook Live as we're going through this Corona virus pandemic and all the things that are going along with that. So thank you again for joining me. I want to do a little bit of a step change, a little bit of a change today, because we've been very much about the stabilize stage of what I said was stabilize, ground and grow. I've got a very special guest with me tomorrow, Jess and James, and so I want to put a bit of a shift around, because I spoke with him yesterday at length about what he believed he could provide us with value in this particular situation, and it was more ground and grow. So I want to do a bit of a step change there, moving to the ground and the grow stage, ahead of us welcoming Jessen tomorrow. And, you know, just because we've moved in the Facebook Lives out of the stabilization phase, there's going to be a lot of things happening which can throw us back into anxiety, fear, and panic. So don't just think that because you've done these, you know, the hakalau, the heart breathing, the havening, and things, that now it's done. This is one of the things that's about a world of uncertainty, where we don't really know what's coming next. Then these are tools that we may need to use every day. I know I do. I have to do that, because, you know, something comes in and I go like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. And an anxiety or a fear or a panic comes up, and I have to use the techniques we've already taught you. So you've got those. So we may recycle back. I know I'm bringing James Mallison back to do another Facebook Live with me in a few days' time to add on the havening techniques. So just because we're with the order and sequence of the lives, we're moving into ground and grow. Then, you know, if you have a bump in the road, and, you know, let's face it, at the moment, we're all having bumps in the road. There are all things that are coming up that we weren't expecting. Then, you know, go back to heart breathing, go back to hakalau, go back to the anxiety technique I taught you from Timeline Therapy, mental emotional release. We're back to doing havening. I did havening this morning. But what I want to move on to now, because of what we've got with Jessen tomorrow, is more around the ground and the grow. Now, in NLP, and I've been teaching this now since 1993. So what's that? That's 27 years. Was the 5 principles of success from an NLP point of view, which were to know your outcome, have sensory acuity. Know your outcome, take action, have sensory acuity so that you know whether the action you've taken has worked or not, have behavioral flexibility, infinite behavioral flexibility. So if what you've just done didn't get the outcome that you wanted, then do anything else other than the same thing you just did, and operate from a physiology and a psychology of excellence. Now, I might get some criticism for this, but I want to change these around in order of importance and order of sequence for these rather unprecedented times. So what I'm going to say is now, number 1, operate from a physiology and psychology of excellence, which is what I've been teaching you over the last few Facebooks. That's the first one. Then number 2 is know your outcome. Now, the reason why I put the physiology and psychology of excellence before choosing your outcome is that if you're feeling bad, if you're feeling anxious, if you're feeling afraid, if you're feeling panic, then more than likely the outcome you pick is not going to be the best one, understandably. So the important thing is to use what we've already talked about to actually change your state before you decide upon your outcome. And then the important thing then is that your outcome is towards what you want. I think a lot of people at the moment, what we've got, the situation we've got at the moment is that, it's like the world has pressed pause on everyone's life. And a lot of people have allowed that. So they've gone, oh, there's nothing I can do. There's no point having goals. There's no point having outcomes. Because there's nothing I can do. The world's on hold. No. Absolutely important, have outcomes. And big outcomes. And maybe outcomes that you'd not thought about before. The world is changing. And so things that you might have gone, one day I'll do this, one day I'll do this, one day I'll do this. Maybe it's time to go it's time now to do it. So from an outcome point of view, and I'll do some more Facebook Lives chunking down on outcomes, but I think lots of you know about SMART. And the most important thing about SMART is specific. The more specific, the better. And make your outcomes big. There's things about this, really, that if we haven't got something really big to look forward to when all of this is over, then we're going to struggle. So something that's big, but also something that matches your life path, your life purpose. One of those things that you've gone, one day I will do this. That's a thing to go for, actually, at this point in time. I mean, what have we got to lose, right? Then it's flexibility. Behavioral flexibility, and also flexibility in your thinking. Because you're going to have to do something different. What we were doing, even the stuff that worked, isn't working anymore. So, even when you're in a great state, even when you've got a fantastic outcome, then you got to go okay, flexibility in my thinking as to how I'm actually going to achieve this. And from that, I would say, trust your unconscious mind. Trust what the Hawaiians would call your na'au, which is in your solar plexus. Because your unconscious mind is aware of so many ways of achieving a goal that you might not logically and rationally and sensibly think of. So logic, rationality, and sense, you're going to get overwhelmed at this point in time because none of it makes sense. So, if you're you set an outcome, you go right, this is specifically what I want. And your unconscious mind goes, this is how to do it. Go with it. Because that's got a greater chance of success than anything else. But then the sensory acuity step comes in. Well, no, actually, the taking action step comes in next. I've got these so ingrained in my head the way I normally teach it that as you probably can work out, I'm jamming this. This is live. I'm kind of doing this as it comes out. So then take action. Take massive action. What I'm noticing a lot of people are doing is they're not taking any action. Not only do they not have goals, but they're not doing anything. That's a dangerous place to be at this point in time, because if you take your foot off the accelerator, in fact, put your foot on the brake for a couple of weeks, a couple of months, we don't know. Then when we actually do come out of this, you're not going to have a great place. And I want you to be in a really great place. So the thing with that is take massive action. But then the final one is sensory acuity. Now, sensory acuity, as we teach it in NLP, is about physiology. It's like, is the communication you're doing at this point in time working or not, or any of those kind of things. I want to broaden that. Sensory acuity is having the acuity of, is what you've just done, did it work or did it not? If it didn't work, stop it, don't do it again. Go with something else. My experience over the last 30 years of being in business is if something doesn't work first time, it's not going to work second time. It's not going to work third time or fourth time. If it's going to work, it'll work first time. So that's my 5 rules for success. I'm going to be joined by Jess and James tomorrow. So the new order and sequence is operate from a physiology and a psychology of excellence, firstly. Then know your outcome. Then think flexibly. Think outside of the box as far as like how you're going to achieve that. Then take massive action. Then use your sensory acuity as a feedback loop as far as like what you're doing is working. And we're going to start that process tomorrow when we do our Facebook Live with Jess and James. So I know a little bit of a short one tonight. And I really want to, but what I want you to think about overnight, before tomorrow, you've got how to operate from a physiology and psychology of excellence. I want you now to think about what's your outcomes. What are your outcomes? And think big. Why not? I mean, what have we got to lose? You got to have an outcome that excites you and flames you up and fires you up, because otherwise, if you ain't got that thing out there in the future to look forward to, then you're going to struggle. You're not going to find it easy, So think about some big outcomes, and then tomorrow, Jess and I will talk about that and how we can go about achieving it. So thanks for joining me, wherever you are in the world. I love you lots. Ahui ho.